How are we doing, guys? We are back again with the opposition preview. And we've got a fan here who I seem to recognise from somewhere. I seem to recognise it. I was sure he was a Leeds fan, though. I was very much of that impression. I think he's seen a lot of rumours as well, to be fair. Start of the season, I think he might have been a Leeds fan. But it is, of course, our very own Corey Kemp. How are things, mate?
Good, mate. I'm a bit gutted this game wasn't on the weekend, to be honest. I've been sitting around scratching my head. I'm like, I just want to get Monday. I want to get to it because I reckon it's going to be a proper exciting game. So, yeah, mate, I'm buzzing for it.
And I think we are going to be joined as well by another West Ham fan in a second. But before we do, Mr. Wayman, how are things, man?
Yeah, all right. Now then, people, it's been a while, hasn't it? It feels like it's been an age. I've had a bit of a week off, to be fair. I think the last video was...
It was...
Tuesday. Anyway, that's by the by. Yeah. I'm like Corey as well, man. I've been good. I hate when it comes around, it's all right, but I hate waiting, for a full weekend, having to watch, all the other sort of stuff and just waiting for our game to come around. But we're getting closer now. Opposition preview and then big match preview tomorrow night, and I'm really excited to get back on the winning trail. We need another win, and what better way to do it against a poor West Ham side?
Well, it would have been like that at the start of the season, mate. It's not like that no more.
Yeah, no, they're a good side, aren't they? They're doing really well, man.
I mean, obviously, we do talk about West Ham a lot on Before the Whistle Blows, but we don't never really go into a lot of detail. But I mean, Corey, obviously, you've alluded to it before, but what do you think is exactly down to what do you think the main factors are for West Ham's surprisingly unbelievable season so far?
It's a lot. Sorry, mate, my webcam's a bit drunk, but no, look, there's a lot of things involved. I think David Moyes having a pre-season with the squad and having a bit of time. It's an odd one because he failed so much at Sunderland and Sociedad, and even Man United was such a massive club that he couldn't really get his sort of paws into. I think at West Ham he's benefited from not really having a structure as such. He's been able to implement what he wants. He's got a group of players that he's familiar with to an extent. Declan Rice, Aaron Creswell that were there last time, Mark Noble. So there are sort of mitigating factors. But to be fair, he did have a little bit of a struggle at the beginning of the season because he didn't get the players that he wanted in, I don't think. And a couple of decent signings. Ben Rama's done brilliant this season. Soufal, for me, is one of the best right backs in the league, or at least up there. And it's just all kind of come together, mate. It's nice for me. I thought we were going to get relegated, and all of a sudden I'm on shows about top four and all this, that, and the other. So I'm just enjoying it. But even if we fell to a Europa Conference place, it would be very disappointing. But again,
that's our place. Our place.
Yeah, you can have it. But mate, to be fair, a couple of these teams now, there's like a couple of points in it between us and Everton are in there, and it's all gone a bit crazy. So we've just got to keep consistency, mate, and we have been very, very consistent this year.
Yeah, very impressive, very impressive. I mean, some of the signings, though, I think me and Joe have mentioned before. I mean, Jesse Lingard, I've got to admit, I'm stunned by how well he's done. I'm not saying I've seen a lot of him at Man United because I try and avoid them like the plague, to be honest, in terms of watching games involving them. But Craig Dawson, my words, what a bargain that's been.
Yeah, I got clipped up from. I did an announcement video when he signed, and I said, "Look, he's not in a mould of a top class centre back." And obviously now we're in February, March, and he's been brilliant for us since he's come in. Honestly, I'm actually shocked. I don't know whether it's coaching. I think there is an element to that. I think this West Ham defence and the centre backs have improved massively, but Craig Dawson it has been a bit of a steal. I think if we get him in £2 million at the end of the year, I know he's 31 and he's getting on a bit, but. Yeah, mate, he's brilliant. And set pieces wise, he's been fantastic as well.
But we are also joined by Russ as well. I'm just going to introduce Russ here. How are things, mate? How are things?
Oh, dear. Very well, mate. Apologies. That's one thing I hate is being late or being in the wrong, but I do apologise. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm excited. Me and Corey, 2v2, 2-on-2. I like it.
Well, tell us a bit more, Russ, about where we can find you on the YouTube stratosphere.
My Hammers 11. So that's what I do. So I run a channel. I've only been up since about 10 months, and we interview fans and a shed load of ex-players about their experiences. It's not like you guys. You do all this, the what's coming up now and all the, how great Bielsa is, how great Moyes is for Corey and things like that. For me, it's all about nostalgia. So it's about interviewing fans about their experiences, why they love the club they love, and then they get to pick their own 11. So the idea is they put together an 11 of the players they've seen play, or for the players that we interview, an 11 of the players that they played with. So we've had like David James, we've had Harry, we've had Trevor Sinclair, we've had Ray Winston, we've had loads. We've had loads.
And I'll obviously be popping on there after this stream as well.
Indeed.
If it's not Sunday, I don't know if Russ has got. He might be expecting you tomorrow night.
What an idiot! What a pleb!
Great. I'll tell you a funny story. Actually, we had. I was on Corey's channel the other day, and I says, "I've never met a West Ham fan in the flesh." Do you know? I swear to God, like I can go anywhere and I can see a Leeds fan, but there's some clubs that I can go and not see them. And I mentioned it the other night to Corey. I said, I don't think I've seen a West Ham fan in the flesh. Then I took my kids out the other day, and they were this old couple. And one of them had a West Ham hat on, and one had a West Ham hoodie. And I took a picture on the sly and sent it to Corey and went, I found a West Ham.
I filled you in if you saw them.
I know. Well, he had a walking stick. He was about 70, 80. But to be fair, it was just, mad, really.
I bet he was scrapping with Millwall back in the 70s. I bet he was scrapping with Millwall back in the 70s, to be fair. But obviously, there's been a couple of comments, actually. I can't actually find it now. But there was... Someone just said a minute ago that he feels that we're weaker than last time we played West Ham, and West Ham are stronger. Would you agree with that, Joe?
I'm just trying to think last time out who played. Obviously, Rafinha played as well, didn't he? Rafinha did play in the last game. Obviously, Calvin played. Maybe even Koch as well at that time, possibly.
He scored, didn't he?
I think Koch had been injured
Click
at that
scored,
point.
Click scored from the penalty spot. But I think, look, we are significantly weaker, and we know that due to the fact that we're calling on, Costa and Roberts. And I know I was advocating Costa to start, but you could arguably say we're weaker. But I think Rodrigo comes back in on Monday, which will be a massive, massive shout for us. I think Llorente has been doing bits, regardless of what you think, Oscar. But
don't answer that again. I mean, me and Phil were getting asked all the time on the video on Thursday. I'm not surprised you're not mentioning Llorente in your graphic, Phil. No surprises you want Llorente out and all this lot.
No, but
take it out of context.
I think Llorente doing bits, Ayling back at right back, Rodrigo to come back into the side for me. I know there's a lot of people that assume he might go on the bench, but I don't see it. I think he plays that, that under-23s game and he's straight in there. And we need him, really, to be fair, because, yes, Roberts has created a few in the last, but he just can't finish for Toffee, and we need that extra bit for me, and Rodrigo gives us it, especially against a very good West Ham side. And, I think the one thing I am more comfortable with this time around is the set pieces, because we did play West Ham and obviously we conceded 2 headers last time, and it was getting to the point as a Leeds United fan that you were saying, you'd rather concede a penalty than a set piece. It was getting that bad at that time, and or if we get a set piece, you might as well put the ball back straight on the centre circle. But it's not like that for Leeds United. So I do think, although West Ham are amazing at set pieces, I do think we'll stand up to them much better this time around. So I'll take a little bit of confidence from that. I think we can get something, man. Forget that it's in London. It's all right. We can get something, hopefully.
Well, I had to get signed off from work for 2 weeks after seeing Dallas try and mark Souček on set pieces. I mean, that was not a fun experience. That was, that took a while to get over that, to be fair. But, I mean, Russ, obviously, you've spoken to Corey about what he thinks the key factors are behind West Ham. It was probably the biggest surprise package of the whole season. I'd say more so than us, to be fair, in terms of how well you've done so far. I mean, what do you think? What's been the key part behind that?
Togetherness. That's it. It's togetherness. For the first time in, I can't really, I feel like I can't even remember. I mean, everyone talks about our last season at the bowling, but to be honest, it was Payet. Payet pretty made much, in my opinion, made that season for us. He was one man. This is a team now. I mean, obviously, you might say. So I'm the stadium DJ at West Ham. So I'm still there. I've been doing it for like 20 years. So I'm still there watching all the games, and I get to see all the players. And this season, little things like, they all go for a little walk around the pitch about 2 hours before the game. No one would know that, but they do, and that's never happened. I haven't seen anyone do that before, and so it's just togetherness. We've got a team. We've got, and I think that's what. And same with Corey. To be honest, that's what we want as a West Ham, and probably for a Leeds team as well. You just want a togetherness and a sense that they'll fight for each other, and this team do. They got like some fight in them. If we're being hypercritical, the football's not, I wouldn't say it's expansive like you guys, but it's effective, and we don't care as long as obviously we're winning, and we've got 11 players on the pitch. It used to be you'd have 11 players on the pitch, and you'd maybe question 3 or 4 of their commitment. Haller, maybe Anderson, maybe not fancying it that day. It's not the case now. All the 11, going to put a shift in. Might not be, might not win. As I said, it's like the other day when we lost to City. It just shows how much we've changed as well. We were like, wow, damn, so unlucky. Well done, boys. Me and Corey would have known 18 months ago, we'd have been on Twitter. It would have been toxic if we every game we miss. So it's just a togetherness of the team, togetherness of the fans, and a togetherness with the sort of the coaching staff, with Moyes and all those boys. So it's a different West Ham this season. It's enjoyable to watch, to be honest, more than anything.
I'll tell you something though, mate. You've got 3 very jealous alpha males looking at you now. The fact that you're able to get to games, that's. I think, if I'm right in saying, I think you're the first fan we've had on from Leeds or any team who's been able to get to games. So
there we go.
Fair play, mate. Absolutely fair play.
There we go.
20 years of service to the club. Absolutely fair play to you. What a job as well. What a job that is, by the way.
It's a double testimonial.
Getting the lads going, getting the crowd going. My word.
Getting myself going. I'm the only.
I was going to say, Russ, what's the job of a stadium DJ when there's no fans in the ground?
Pretty much exactly the same, to be honest. It's everything. It's quite funny, it's almost like if there was fans in there, we'd be doing exactly the same thing. Everything is exactly. I think that's probably was one of the key things. We've kept everything exactly the same. So maybe because it's not weird, Obviously, we don't start playing any music or anything, any sounds until the players come out, because that's even less worth it. But it's all about just making sure, that everything's working all right. But yeah, it's the sounds. We do different things like, don't believe it. Yeah, we play Sweet Caroline. I do Sweet Caroline.
What a tune.
If we win, that's part of our winning little thing. But the only difference now compared to pre-COVID is goal music. So we play goal music now. I'm not a fan of goal music, I'll be honest, but I understand it in the context of behind closed doors, because you score a goal and it's like, yay. Well, at least there's a bit of something. That's why Jesse and all them did all their band thing, because it's like we play like Twist and Shout. That's like our little thing. So that's why they're doing all their band stuff. But at least it's something to sort of, say, well done, you scored a goal, congratulations. Now go back and score another one. But
that's a good choice of goal music, though, for me. Twist and Shout. That's a decent little tune.
It's something that the West Ham. It's like part of our. It's a weird one because obviously it's a Liverpool song, really, but we've always sung it from in the stands in the 60s or whatever. They used to sing it as the away teams and stuff. And it's.
Is this Twist and Shout?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not a banger. Where are you getting that from?
Mate, it's class. It's class.
What will ask? What will ask?
You've got to be there.
I've got Merseyside on my postcode. It's a Beatles song. No.
West Ham.
Best band
ever. Yeah, it's a weird one.
Going to ask you a quick question. You were saying what music do you play when you lose? A bit of Bob Marley, Don't Worry About a Thing, or what do you play when you lose?
It's quite funny because everyone takes a piss out of me amongst West Ham lot, because I have two playlists. One's if we win, and one's if we lose. And last season, that losing one was played quite a bit. And I, for some reason, I always just press play, and and I forget to keep. I would never do the shuffle, so it's always the same song. So it's almost like, you know, where we play Bubbles and we win, it's always bloody Foo Fighters. It's always the Foo Fighters, and so I just get texts. You know, if we're losing the game, I'll get a text from someone. I'll make sure Dave Grohl's warming up. Then, you know, all that sort of taking all that piss and stuff at me. But yeah, it's usually sort of generic rock. I did fuck up once when we played City. This was back in the old ground, and I just pressed the button, didn't think about it, and it was Oasis. And so I got like rinsed for that, obviously. You got to be careful. You got to be careful, you know, if we're playing, you know, Leicester can't really play any Kasabian, and, you know, Brighton can't really play any, you know, Fatboy Slim, and, you know, it's all, you got to be very, very careful, because people do pick up on the things. And without realising, once I remember we played, I can't remember who it was back at Upton Park, and I think we'd lost, and I played Paul Weller Changing Man, not thinking about it. 5 minutes, you know, next day in the papers, and the DJ clearly thinks there's a change of management needed as he plays Paul Weller. No, just literally press play. So literally, you've got to be so careful, because people will literally dissect everything. But at the moment we've been playing sort of the wrestling theme tunes. Because there's a few wrestlers who are apparently West Ham fans, so we do that at the moment, and that's getting quite a good.
You should do that when they make substitutions, like substitution, and then just do like a wrestling theme for each player in that when they come on.
Well, I wanted to do for VAR. I wanted to do the countdown theme tune. You know, boom, no goal. But no, they wouldn't let me do it. But because they used to do water breaks last year, didn't they? We had water breaks as well, so that was another sort of time to shine. You know, what songs we play for the water break, and no, it's a good laugh. I love doing it, and I love jumping on the watch-alongs, and because I'm about 3 minutes ahead of everyone else on the watch-alongs. So I'll say there's been a goal, and I won't say who for, and there was fuck off, Russ. Russ is in again. But yeah, it's good fun. I love it, man. I'm very, very privileged. I am.
Very good, very good. But guys, keep smashing the like, smash that subscribe button as well if you haven't done already. We are on the road to 21.5k, hopefully pretty soon. But let's look a little bit more into the game. Obviously, I mean, Corey, obviously last time we played you sort of played like a 3-4-3. You had Souček and Rice, who just ran the game, in all honesty. They completely gave Click, Phillips, Rodrigo no joy at all in that middle of the park. I mean, what can we expect this time playing West Ham? Is it the same kind of system, or have you changed things up a little bit since Jesse Lingard turned up?
Yeah, no, it's definitely more of a 4-2-3-1. Jesse played one game, I think, in a 3-4-3. I think it was against Sheffield United, and we won 3-0. And he's very, very good. He's much better, obviously, than I think a lot of people, including myself, gave him credit for. He's a talented player. I think it'll be 4-2-3-1. I think it's about winning that midfield battle. You know, I think we won it last time. I think that's why we had so many chances. I think probably the best game Ben Rama's had for us, maybe other than Crystal Palace, but the space that he'll get in that midfield will be ridiculous. And I think Click's, not saying he's falling off, but he's struggling a little bit at the minute, and that suits us massively. I was a Click fan. I spoke to you earlier in the season. I loved the way he was passing between the lines, but you're not seeing that enough from him. Now, obviously, Rodrigo's kicking around in the under-23s, and I'm thinking, here we go. Here's a player with a little bit of technical quality, and I think that will be the difference. I think it's always going to be an open midfield against Leeds, but you've got Rodrigo on the field. If Click's in form, you know, possibly the transitions are better. Rafinha's in much better form than he was against us last time. So it's a tough one. It's always a tough one with Leeds. You can't switch off. But I think we have improved. I think we have improved massively since then, and that's a credit to us and David Moyes.
Are you sure you're not a Leeds fan?
I think
you know a lot about us. You know a lot about us.
I've got a vested interest, so I have to watch them every other week and think, okay, I know what's going on. I need to know.
I mean, I went to Leeds during the Champions League sort of era. You know, because my housemate, he was Don Revie's grandson, so we'd go to the Leeds. So Leeds are always, I always look out for the Leeds results because of that exact reason. So yeah, but as long as it's not one the other day. Aidan, I used to go to uni. I used to go to uni with Aidan, so I used to live with him for 2 years. Oh, what a small world, Oscar! What a small world. But yeah, so Leeds is always, you know, always one I watch out for, but not as much as Corey. Corey proper loves them.
Behave yourself.
Proper.
I get it every week, Russ, from these.
Behind that Bobby Moore shirt, he's got a Robin Koch shirt there behind that. 100%.
We'll see on Monday.
But obviously, you know, going into the game, I mean, I'll go to you, Joe. I think we've kind of mentioned this before on another channel, West Ham Lions United, and we got asked who we fear the most from West Ham.
Yeah.
I picked out Antonio. You picked out Lingard. I mean, what have you made to Lingard since he's turned up? I thought he was really good in that City game. I thought he was probably one of the best players on the pitch, to be honest.
Yeah. Listen, I was never keen on the kid. I don't know him personally or anything like that, but I just thought, I remember the time at Man United when he got this big bumper contract, and I didn't understand why he was paid over, I think it's like 100 and odd grand a week he's on. I just didn't understand the money that was getting thrown at him because I didn't see it. And to be honest to him, I thought he was a bit of a big time Charlie, and you know, all these dance moves and that with Pogba and all that sort of stuff.
I remember that beans thing.
Oh man, I'm just not about that. All this stuff, that dancey stuff and all that. I sound like Roy Keane, don't I? But do you know?
Do me a favour.
Yeah. I didn't think he'd go to West Ham because I thought he had that sort of mentality. You know, that I'm not good, and I mean this with the best thing, but he's gone from, you know, as much as we hate them, they're a big club. They're a top 6 side, and obviously West Ham ain't, you know. And I didn't think he would go there. And the fact he's gone there and he's doing bits, fair play to him. And I think, look, Ben Rama gave Phillips a bit of a torrid time last time and certainly kept him, you know, worked. And if they go with a similar sort of style, we're lesser because we don't have Calvin, so we'll probably have Pascal there. So the level drops. Say what you want, you know. Some people, he's just not on Calvin's level.
I can just feel John McKenzie hammering them comments in a second.
I know, but it's true though, bro. Say what you want.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And people say, well, you know, libero role. I heard them say the other day, and he's doing the libero role perfectly, how it's expected to be played. But Calvin does that and more, you know. Calvin can send a pass 30, 40 yards and we can be away, you know. Yes, he might be doing what Bielsa wants from him, but as a fan, when I watch it, he's not doing what Calvin does. And obviously, we do hold Calvin up here, but ultimately, he's not Calvin Phillips. So there's a drop-off there. And you'd arguably say there's an increase from Lingard to Ben Rama. So, and Lingard's pressing numbers are through the roof, you know. And, you know, he's one of the best pressers in the division, I was told the other day. So that was something that was new to me. That was on All Stats Week, to be fair to them. He's got crazy pressing numbers. So someone we need to be wary of. And he's a scummer. You know what I mean? There's that to it as well. Obviously, we dislike Man United, and it'd be a turn up for Bucks, wouldn't it, if he were to score? And then, yeah. So that's why I pick him out, mate. Obviously, Souček's, I've really rated him this season. Declan Rice, Antonio didn't actually.
Bowen's a shout as well. We know a lot about him.
Yeah, we do know a lot about Jared Bowen. I mean, that whole City side literally was a one-man team. Okay, you might throw Grzycki in there as well, but Bowen did it all. You know, we've seen what happened to Hull as soon as they sold Bowen, they were relegated. You know, so that tells you all you need to know. It literally was a one-man team. But Antonio as well, Oscar. Antonio didn't play in that first game. You know, we had Haller.
He was our best player. Haller, to be fair, wasn't he? He was our best defender.
Absolute shocker. He had an absolute shocker, didn't he?
Yeah, he was
Made
bad.
some great clearances for us.
Yeah, he did, mate. He did. It was funny, actually. It was quite comical to watch, especially what you paid for him. So Antonio, again, I think the worry is, mate, is if they turn us over, you know, they press high, they nick it away, they've got Bowen, Fornells, Lingard, and then Antonio on top of that, big lump like Haller. So if they can nick the ball high, you know, I do worry. And I think if the first goal was to be scored by West Ham, like you've just said earlier, I struggle to see us getting anything from the game, if I'm being totally honest, which is disheartening as a fan, but we know how it goes against the low block, especially one as good as West Ham and as drilled as they are, that if they were to go in front, then it could be curtains. And that's shit.
I just see a similar pattern to that Wolves game, to be fair. But I think we'll have more chances in the game, to be honest, with the way we play. But if we waste them like we did against Wolves, I mean, it's one of those. I mean, the worst possible scenario for me is conceding with 20 minutes to go. That's the worst case scenario, because that's it for me. If I'm being honest, I can't see us bouncing back from that unless we get a moment of absolute genius from Rafinha in those 20 minutes. That is the worst case scenario. But this is a decent shout, to be fair. In terms of the London Stadium, the size of the pitch,
huge, man.
It might suit us a bit more, to be fair. We don't play on many pitches that are as big as Ellen Road, to be fair. So, and to be fair, the pitch can't be any worse than what Ellen Road is. So I think almost like the away games suit us a bit more in terms of slick passing. I mean, it could well be the case. But just to go back onto you boys, obviously we mentioned Calvin Phillips there, and it's a never-ending debate. Whenever you talk about Leeds and West Ham, it is a never-ending debate. But we've got to talk about it in the middle of the park. Declan Rice or Calvin Phillips? Who is more likely to start that first game of the Euros for England for you, Corey?
Declan Rice, absolutely no shot. I think Declan is in the starting 11, to be fair. I think it'll be him and Jordan Henderson if Henderson can get fit. I don't want to get filled into this narrative. I'm a secret Leeds fan. Calvin's a good player, but I think Declan is, for me, one of the best defensive midfielders in the league, and I think he's improved even more so this season. And as a captain at West Ham, I think he's taken it to another level. And you look at international tournaments, I think he's got, for a 21-year-old, a ridiculous mentality. So, yeah, exactly, Bobby. So I think he's definitely starting the Euros.
I mean, Bobby, don't. Bobby, I mean, it's called the London Stadium as well. London, we just can't escape that. I mean, I mentioned London, to be fair. The London klaxon, 26 minutes, 45 seconds. We've not mentioned London yet. Because apparently we've not won in London for 3.5 years, but it's fine. It's fine. But Russ, where do you stand on the Declan Rice, Calvin Phillips issue? Do you think there's any hope of Calvin Phillips possibly getting in there if he has a good end to the season?
No, I'll be honest. I mean, Declan, honestly, it's one of those things where obviously a lot of people outside of West Ham are like, oh, Declan Rice, I don't really see it, I don't really understand him, but you know, is he that good? But it's the same with you guys and Calvin Lewis. You see him for 90 minutes, so you know what he does, and Declan doesn't actually do a lot of stuff which ends up on Match of the Day, but he does stuff which is, it's like when I interview all the ex-footballers, they all pick the players who, like Hayden Mullins, Jeff Pike, these sort of, you like who, but they're like sort of the midfielders who basically are the water carriers, who do all the graft, do all the hard work, and he does all the hard work. He does it all. He's the only one I've seen in the Premier League this season who seems to tackle and not give away a foul. Everyone else seems to tackle and gives away a foul, but he does some beautiful tackles. But I think this season he is different class, but he's been different class since Soucek's come on, I think, in my opinion, since we signed him, because they just, as a partnership, work. I mean, no disrespect to Mr. West Ham, Mark Noble, but I think when him and Deck play, Deck's almost a little bit shackled, in my opinion. But with Soucek there, they just had this great understanding. And, going to the England squad, I mean, for me, there's no doubt that Declan's will be starting for England in the Euros. No doubt at all. Just because the level he's playing at now. And he's only 22. That's this crazy thing. He's played 100 and something Premier League games. He captains our club. I mean, we didn't even give when Mark Noble's not playing, there's no assumption that Declan Rice isn't going to be captaining the team. He's 22 years old, 21 years old. He's a young lad. We've got, I think Fabianski must have done Poland. He must have managed to captain the Poland team. We've got loads of experience, but he's the one they pick. And I've seen him from a very young age work his way up at West Ham. And no, he is honestly a different gravy. He really is. He's such a good player.
Your best player?
He's up there, isn't he?
Up there. This season, my best. I mean, I love an underdog. I like a player who doesn't get the headlines. And for me, my best player this season was actually Soufal, the right back, because he literally is 7 out of 10 every game. You can bet your house on he'll put a sterling job in. Soucek scores all the goals. Declan Rice is Declan Rice. Jaylings is Jaylings, but Soufal is always there, man. And but yeah, he's got to be up there, old Ricey boy. But yeah. We're all playing well, to be honest. It is a good season. I'm enjoying it. So, not waiting for any speed bumps. I'm trying to enjoy the ride while we can, man, to be honest.
Love it, man. Love it.
Fair enough. Fair
enough. Ricey boy. I love
that. Rice.
It's always an ongoing debate, to be fair. The only thing I would say in terms of the argument between Rice and Phillips is, as you said there, Rice without Soucek wasn't as effective as a player.
Yep.
What I will say about Calvin is he's covering it on his own. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's well documented how attack-minded we are. It's effectively a front five in front of him. And to be fair, look, I can't argue this season who's been the better of the two, consistency-wise. Calvin's hardly played this season, so there's no argument about that on current form. It's Declan Rice. But, I mean, would you agree with that, Joe? I do think Calvin's got the harder job of the two, if not maybe the better performances.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on your own as opposed to in a two, that's fair enough. But I do have to agree. Look,
yeah,
it's mad to think. It's mad to think Declan's younger than him as well. When you mentioned Russ about the amount of games he's played in the Premier League and he's captaining his side. Do I think that Calvin will captain Leeds? Probably, yeah. I do, if I'm honest. If he's here for a couple more seasons, I think a lot of the fans would give it him now. To be fair, because it's just like it's one of your own kind of vibe, isn't it? But yeah, I think Calvin goes to the Euros.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't think he'll start.
Do you agree with that? Technically, Calvin's the better player. I mean,
I
wouldn't disagree with that. I just think Declan Rice probably all round just has that little bit more skill set for me in terms of all round. He maybe just edges it on that.
I'll tell you what with Declan Rice. Calvin's a technically good player, but Declan Rice's technical ability is massively underrated for people that don't watch him. He played this unbelievable ball. Obviously, Russ was there at Tottenham to Jarrod Bowen, and he's taken out the entire Tottenham back four. How many defensive midfielders? I know Calvin's in that bracket to a degree, but I think it's his all-round game, everything he does defensively, and the fact he's transitioned from centre-back to like a defensive midfield to almost a number 8 this season that shows you the levels, and he's still only 22, so he'll grow and he'll get better.
And he also you can tell he's trying to develop different facets of his game. He's not like stuck as this sort of this season has been a lot more sort of. I mean, Corey would have seen a lot more marauding runs with the ball, split. Trying to because he's quite a bit of a unit, really, old Deck. So he's doing a lot more running with the ball. And the passing, but also, he took free kick. He took a penalty the other day. He's trying to do this weird knuckleball free kick at the moment. He seems to be trying, but it seems he's trying to develop his game and be a bit more than just a blocker. But no, I mean, it's great that a comment just popped up now. The fact that we've got this mass debate about these two, about these two, similar players. It's great that England's got these options now, and it's really, really cool now. Really, really cool.
How? Just a quick question. How long do you think he's at West Ham for?
Yeah, good point.
He's flirting with Chelsea. He's flirting. I know he's good mates with Mason Mount, I believe.
Yeah, that's gone now. That's gone now. Yeah, that's gone.
They are good mates, so aren't they?
They are, mate. They're best mates, but that's gone now. With Lampard gone, that's gone. Allegedly, that was one of the reasons why Lampard went, because they sacked him because
he wanted him and the club didn't want him. Possibly, Russ. I think I'd heard that Lampard was very big on signing him, and the club didn't want him. I think James Tarkowski as well was mentioned, to be fair, and I forget what I watched now. But
James Tarkowski at
Chelsea,
in the Athletic, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, but the club just said not a chance. No, and they didn't want Rice either. So I agree with Russ. Maybe that one's moved on slightly, but
it's. I'm worried about. Yeah, I mean, it's City. I mean, it's only the City, Liverpool, or Man United. To be honest, he would fit in. He would walk straight in. Maybe not. Yeah, possibly City. I'd say he'd be like the replacement for Fernandinho eventually. That's the way I saw that. But yeah, he could walk. He could walk into Man United and Liverpool now. Because anyway, I think I could walk into Liverpool's team the way they play. And I could offer something different in the final third. That's very different, in fact. But for me, it depends about this season, about where we finish. If we finish in the European places and we get into Europe, that's giving him at least another season. By the end of next season, I imagine that's when Mark Noble's going to retire. So then he's club captain. It's all his. He's got the keys to the castle, so to speak. And then, who knows? But I think at least another season for sure. And then we'll see next summer based on what happens with Marky Nobes, to be honest, because
we don't like Frank Lampard. I think that's the big thing.
I agree. What about you?
It wouldn't be a West Ham video without talking about Frank Lampard, because
you got to have it in there, haven't you? Let's be honest.
You don't like him either, do you? Am I right in saying that? You guys really don't like Lampard. This is almost a game of who hates Frank Lampard more.
We hate him more. We hate him more.
Oh no, you don't.
That geezer,
yeah,
he used to score. He used to come back to Upton Park. He loved it, and he used to celebrate and kiss the Chelsea badge every time. And it just literally riles you. Absolutely, because his dad played for West Ham. He's like considered a West Ham legend.
600 games, yeah. And because of Frank Junior, the sort of the legacy of Frank Senior is really tainted.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He should be. We've got stands named after Billy Bonds, Trevor Brooking, Bobby Moore. You know, he won 2 FA Cups with West Ham. There's only about 3 people ever in West Ham's history who have done that. He played almost 700 games for the club, and he's like probably if you list off West Ham greats, you list off 6 or 7 players, he'll be like 7th or 8th. Do you know what I mean? And it's because of Frank. I mean, the lad tried, you know, and I've obviously interviewed lots of ex-players and spoken about Lampard, but yeah, it's the, I mean, you know, it's the way people leave. You know, he leaves and then tells, you know, we're a pub team or whatever, and you know, we probably were at the time, to be honest, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We still hate him. He's still Fat Frank, which is brilliant. It's me calling him Fat Frank.
To be fair, Frank Lampard's dad probably hates him, to be fair, so I won't worry about it. Do you know what I mean? Corey, where do you stand on the Rice thing, mate? Are you worried?
You're always worried when you've got a player of that ability at your club, and it's he's come through the academy. I know they keep banging on about he was at Chelsea, but I think he considers himself as a kind of, I wouldn't say West Ham fan, but he just gets West Ham and he understands it and he loves the club, and that's a huge pull. It's been so nice this season for the way that we've kicked on. A, you've given him Souček beside him, and he's been dying for a player like that for probably 2 years. B, West Ham are looking at Europe, and that was always the thing, because a European club comes in for him. Can it sway him? The Lampard thing as well, that was sort of on the table when you think, hang on a minute. And we know how good he is. The problem with Declan Rice is he'll get all the plaudits he wants when he goes to a Man City, Liverpool. And I don't want that to happen. I want it to happen 2-3 years down the line. If we can give him Europa League next season, he'll stay for me. He's captain of the club. He needs a new contract. He should be our highest earner. If you give him that as well, it's enough to pull him in. And I feel like his relationship with David Moyes as well is a massive thing that never gets spoken about. He loves David Moyes, and David Moyes really, really trusts him. So I reckon 2 years, hopefully.
He's got time on his side, hasn't he?
He's got time. I mean, he's in the England squad. You know, it's not like he's got to break in. I mean, we've had people leave to get in the England squad.
Yeah.
You know, so Fat Frank and Joe and Glenn Johnson and Rio and all these players left to maintain it. He's already in the England squad, and he was in the England squad last season when we were shit. To be honest, and so the only thing he could go for is to win stuff, and hopefully next year, I mean, whether we finish this year, but next year, you know, we have another bloody good go in the cup again. You know, we're never going to win the league. We know that we're never going to win, but it's the cups and things like that. And I think that's realistically, and I just think, you know, he's not stupid. He's a really, really switched on bloke, and he's a lovely lad, but he's really switched on when it comes to social media. He knows how much the fans like. If Mark Noble played a 6, we'd put it down for an 8 because he's Mark Noble. He gets a +2 before he's even walked on the pitch. And he knows that. He could be a really big fish in a small pond at West Ham. If he went to Liverpool, it'd be one of a crowd, wouldn't he? Man United, one of a crowd, but he could be our next Billy Bonds. He could be our next, event. Who knows? But there's a pathway for him. He can see it's like a job. Your career path. There's an obvious career path, but it's just. It comes down. I mean, I don't think he's really. I don't necessarily think it's about the money, but I just think it's about maybe winning stuff. So, yeah.
What's your value, Matt?
80 plus for me. I honestly do. And I know this COVID environment changes things. And I know people have said, we'll give you 50 or 60. And United are saying, we'll give you Phil Jones and Matic. But the reality is, we know his quality. And
you want 90 then, in that case.
yeah. It's actually a hindrance. We're costing us more.
You want more money, it's just taken.
I know. But that's what annoys me more, the kind of sort of derisory offers. We know his quality. We know he's up there. And
Phil Jones. Offer me a Phil Jones in advance.
Well, this is the problem with this Lingard thing, isn't it? Because I think it's that kind of, we'll give you Lingard and a little bit for Declan Rice and stuff. No, we want both. So, and I think if West Ham get Europe, there's no reason why we can't have both.
It's mad because today, Man United, a Twitter well-followed one, I forget the name of it, quoted that apparently they've been in touch with Rafinha and his agent and all this sort of stuff. And some of the comments were, they want Dan James. Let's give him Dan James. And I was just reading through, getting vexed, dying to reply to these people, but I don't want to get into any sort of debate. But it were like, Yeah, just give him Dan James. Some would like flat out saying straight swap deal. And I'm like, have you ever watched Rafinha and Dan James and the difference between these two? Like, there's no way Leeds United go, go on then. Yeah, that was it. United report. For SK said, it's just idiots, man, idiots. But it's frustrating, isn't it? Because you think these top 6 sides think they can just come and go, there's a shit player and we'll take yours, you know.
That's the trouble.
They use it to get rid of him. Like Liverpool offer everyone Origi apparently and Shaqiri, and they're not surprised why they can't get any players in because no one wants. They're on big wages as well. You know, even if you see the potential in Dan James, he's on big wages now. It's hard to get anyone to even take him on loan. But
it's like it's like Leicester when Leicester won the title. They took Kante, and that's the trouble. Anyone who does well, then the big boys go right. Okay, we'll flex them. But we're in a different football world this season now. It's different. I was chatting to a Leicester fan of just like me and him, like 2 top 6 teams talking to each other. What? It's like hello, but that's a bit weird. But yeah, it just it's frustrating when those things happen. As you said, Rafinha performs well. That's it. He's going. And it's like, well, not necessarily.
Do you fear at all? I mean, fear is probably the wrong word at this when you're now right in the moment of probably your best season, sort of probably in the Premier League times. It's probably your best season. Not our
best one. No, I mean we did a 5th. We finished 5th under with Harry. That? Yeah, this was 90. Not early, like late 90s. We did a 5th, 7th, 8th. We're 5th, 7th, 8th. We did in 3 seasons. I mean the bowling season. Where did we finish the bowling season, Corey? Like
7th, I think. 7th, we slipped, didn't we? We were up there as well. We slipped at the last minute.
But yeah, one of them. It's the one of them. Yeah, one of them.
Do you feel like obviously remember last time West Ham were kind of at that kind of level was when you had Payet and the team, Bilic in charge, a couple of other really good players, Lanzini, etc., etc. I think Antonio just turned up as well, but it kind of fell off the season after in terms of you went into Europa League. Obviously, I know the big staging move as well, but do you almost feel like? Do you fear that at all in terms of, or do you think David Moyes in terms of what he's done at Everton? Because I look at this West Ham team, it reminds me a lot most of his Everton team in terms of you got the big man in there in terms of who gets in the box like Fellaini did almost in Souček, very similar kind of players. Obviously, Souček's probably better to be fair, no doubt about that. Yeah. But he kind of consistently had Everton finishing above their means in terms of making good signings, building slowly, always in that 6th to 7th bracket. Do you feel he can do that again, or do you think? Ooh, maybe this is it now, and they might drop off a little bit. I mean, what's your feelings on that? Is there any kind of fear it might drop off, or
not for me? Not for me with this lot. Before, yes, because it was like the Slav year with
even
Billy.
With the Golden Sullivan in terms of the ownership.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not about who owns a club. It's about who manages them, and it's the team. And Slav was Slav, and that season was amazing. But we still finished 7th, and it was just. I think a lot of that was because it was the last time we'd play Arsenal at the Bowling. It was the last time we played Southampton at the Bowling last time. So every game had like importance, and. This has been our best season since then. That's 5 years. That was 5 seasons ago we moved this year. For me, this is the first time I can think for a long time, maybe even, I can't remember, this probably the last time since Big Sam, in my opinion, where there's been like a plan. Do you know what I mean? There's like a plan rather than just pass it to Payet to score a free kick. There's actually a plan, and he's building. You can see what he's building. Like when he came in, there was no scouting system, there was no recruitment system, and he's building that as well. And there seems to be all these building blocks. He's bringing in. He's not paying stupid money. I mean, obviously in the January transfer window, there was a big sort of hoo-ha. We didn't sign a striker. And then, it was like, but Costa's available, Giroud's available. That old West Ham would have taken them on. Old West Ham would have taken them on and spent 150 grand a week on someone who's got to play. He would have done. But
it's about the boys team. Wow.
But it's about getting the young hungry players in. So, getting the Czech boys in, getting Bowen in, getting Ben Rama in. If it's, in the summer, there might be, they're after, there's a couple of championship strikers are after, or, but whoever. It's about getting the younger, we never make a profit on players. You know, you could sell Souček tomorrow for 50 million, in my opinion. You know, we bought him for 16. Soufal we bought for 5 million. We'd sell him for 20 easily, no problem. You know, so there is a change in the wind, if that makes sense. You can just smell it a little bit, regardless of who owns a club. It's who's managing the club, in my opinion, and it's how he's working with that team. They just seem so happy, you know. And I can't remember seeing a happy team. You know, we usually have people like Hallow who doesn't smile when he scores and things like. You know, everyone wants to get involved when everyone scores. It's really, really enjoyable for having. You know, I've supporting West Ham since, you know, I was knee high to a grop, which wasn't actually knee high to a grop. I'm still that short, but you know, 30 years, something like that. This is the most exciting team I've seen since I've started supporting them, because that is that reason.
Can I think for me, where and you guys can tell me wrong, I'll bring it to court. I think West Ham could have an amazing season, right? But then I wouldn't be surprised to see them fighting relegation next. And I put that down. And I put that down to the owners and a failure in investment, possibly in the summer if you were to get Europe, maybe. And that's where the difference is for me, because I now look, and we've had shit owners, don't get me wrong, but I now look at this Leeds United side, and with the powers that be and Bielsa, that each season I expect us to progress, and we might find one season that we might, you know, finish a few places lower, but I see constant progression. But it wouldn't blow my mind if you were to get Europe and then also be bottom half of the table. What do you think? Go on, Russ.
You go, Cole.
Yeah, look, I know what you mean, because as a West Ham fan, that's what happens every year. Particularly in my lifetime, it's been up and down, and you know, we've never really been stable, and that's why we enjoy the high moments. I think that the difference this season is Moyes has got a consistency in the squad. The way that we're playing, we don't fall away in games. There's this mentality where we go a goal down. I think we go down against City. I go, typical. And I've kind of got to the stage now. I'm like, it's all right. We'll get back into it. That never happened before. And I think Moyes has actually probably thrived on his chance to sort of implement his own sort of system. And he's talking about scouting and recruitment and getting the right plan. And he thrives in environments like that, exactly like he did at Everton when he had control over certain things. And yes, he does need to be backed. If we do get Europe, it's a huge statement for us as a club, and he needs support for that. And there's no getting around it. But even if, for example, we didn't get the right players in, I just trust him. I trust him enough that we'll still be top 10, and we won't falter in performance level. And it's nice to be able to watch West Ham and not feel like, oh God, next season. And I like to say to you every week, don't I, boys? I'm just enjoying it for while it lasts. But genuinely speaking, it could be, if Moyes is here for 2-3 years, we might be kicking around. But yeah, long and short of it, that's the answer.
You know? Respect to Moyes in terms of, obviously after that, when he went the other side of the Pennines, it didn't go well for him. Then he went to Sociedad. He's had a really, really bad spell, to be fair. And he's almost been ridiculed. And you think to yourself, he's probably, in terms of British managers, in terms of the last sort of 10, 15 years, we've not had a great crop of British managers.
No.
Moyes, for me, he'd have to be towards the top in terms of what he's achieved with Everton and that lot. And he gets all this stick for the jobs he's done elsewhere. Sunderland have hardly improved about him. Man United are in the same place, realistically, in the same place they were when he left and got lambasted, kind of thing. You know, I just find it, I think it's fair play to him, to be fair, that he's bounced back pretty well.
I mean, for me, the United job was always going to be tough, because the squad was aging, and Sir Alex got out when he could, so he didn't have a bad, obvious.
He knew what was going on.
He was going on.
He timed it well. I still think he wanted to keep Ferdinand on till he was like 40, Vidic on till he was 40, and then almost set like a trap for the next manager to make him look better.
I believe that. Doing, man.
And then Sunderland, as you said, they were just a sinking ship. Sociedad, he didn't really know what he's doing. He just did it, didn't he? In my opinion, but but West Ham, this second, I mean, he's come in twice. He's done the job he's been asked to do twice. He's kept us up twice, and he just. And it is, maybe some people might see it as a bit old-fashioned, the way you might call him Divering Dave and things like that. But end of the day, I'd rather have Divering Dave than go and spending 40-odd million on Haller, almost 40 million on Anderson, and we've got half our money back on Haller. Well done, congratulations. We're probably going to get a quarter of what we're going to be paid for Anderson. I think it's what we need. We need a bit of solidity. We need someone to build stuff. Build a recruitment. Build a scouting setup. He's built a decent backroom staff already, and looking at the stats, he's actually after Trevor Brooking, who did like half a dozen games for us as a caretaker manager. He's actually our most successful manager in terms of first tier league games. So he's like, I don't know, 60% first, which is, we've had like Harry and all that lot. So, I was always a Moyes fan. I was always a Moyes fan, and I'm glad he's been given a chance, and I'm glad he's taken it, because it takes bottle to come back, having been sort of, fuck off, and then come back again. We need you again. No tail between his legs, and. Yeah, I mean, I must say, it wouldn't surprise me. I know you said like a typical West Ham team before, we'd finish 6th, we'd finish 18th next season. But this team's a bit different, in my opinion. Great point, Matt.
He just needs time. I think the Fergie thing, yes, he set him up, and we know that the only probably reason why Fergie did another year is because he thought, I'll get Van Persie in, I'll win the league, and then I've got above Liverpool, right? Yeah. But you look at Moyes, actually probably in theory is a good guy for that job, because if he can build something, he just needs time. And he's not. There's no easy fix. He come into West Ham the first time. I think we brought Ever in on a free. It was all a bit of a mess, but he did enough, and he got it out of the players. We had Arnie and Lanzini was in decent form before the injury, and then he comes back in, and it's like we still have problems. Felipe Anderson didn't work for him. Lanzini not the same player, but when he gets a squad of players, Souček, Soufal, Craig Dawson in there, that I think you got to believe and you've got to do what he asks. When you look at West Ham play, we defend as a team and we attack as a team. And they all do that, and they all buy into it. So I think fair play to him. He just needs the players on side, and when he can do that, he gets results.
Yeah, fair play. But if we can push you guys onto a little bit more about Leeds United, obviously, Corey, you talk about us a lot on Full Whistle Blows, and fair play to you, mate. You are very knowledgeable on Leeds United. Who are you fearing the most?
I'd probably go. You got to go Rafinha, isn't you? Really, let's be honest. He gives me a bit of a pie vibe in terms of how he's come to the league and just set it alight a little bit, and what he can do with the ball and that unpredictability. I was really impressed with him from set pieces as well. By the way, I didn't know he had that in his locker. So it's another avenue. I think I worry about him and Creswell. If I'm honest, I think Creswell's had a much better season this year, but he's going to need a little bit of protection on that left if Rafinha's going at him full pelt, because Creswell can get done. He's not the quickest. So I imagine Fornals will come and give him a little bit of protection, and Moyes will know that anyway. But you've obviously got some decent players as well. Bamford's movement is a problem, but I would say we've improved since then defensively, and in a back four and in a back five. So I think we can mitigate it. But yeah, Rafinha's your outstanding player for me.
Who will play left back for you most likely? Obviously, it'll be Soufal on the right back. Who will be left back?
Cresswell.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they play,
if they play a 4, yeah.
I was about to say, if they're not playing, they might play a back three.
Do you say Cresswell? I didn't say you say Cresswell.
I was going on about bringing in Fornals to protect him.
I didn't say Cresswell. No, I didn't say Fornals.
No, I reckon we're playing back three, and I reckon Ben Johnson will be left wing back. And if he is, then Rafinha, he's got someone to Cresswell got something to double up with. That's what I think. But who knows? We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. We just don't. Me and Corey, Corey does the watch-alongs and stuff. The team comes up, and there's always like last game, there was no Fabianski. We're like, what the fuck? Where's Fabianski gone? Where's Ben Rahm? It's literally he always does.
In the goal situation, is Randolph and Fabianski both going to make it? Or
they reckon one will be patched up in time. Apparently, that's what I think. I think Fabianski he hasn't trained yet, but I think he's 90%. So I'd rather have a 90%. Yeah. Fabianski, the way just the way he sort of commands the area more than anything. But I think Randolph got injured, didn't he? I know he's got an injury, so yeah.
Oh, please throw Dave Martin in. Please, former Leeds player.
Just for the Leeds, just for the Leeds.
That. Former Leeds player as well. Please throw him in.
Is there any chance he plays Ben Rama and Lingard and drops Fornals, do you think, or is that just not an option? Because Ben Rama did have a good game in that first.
Well, he did. It's a problem, innit? Because I think there's that kind of I suppose Russell, if we do play a back five or a 3-4-3, then Ben Rama for me comes in on the left. We've got enough with Johnson on that left hand side. And he's been brilliant, and he's not even naturally left footed. He's right footed, and he's been doing jobs. So maybe there. But if it's a 4-2-3-1, I think you go 4 nails on the left.
Yeah.
And I think Benrahma misses out. But honestly, Benrahma and Lingard together, Villa away, were absolutely superb. And when they play together, they've got such a good relationship.
And I think the way the way the Leeds play, the way you play, benefits someone like Benrahma, in my opinion, because I just think that's probably his best game for us recently. It was Leeds away. Just because it was his first game as well, first proper game. So, I mean, I love Benrahma. He's that sort of crazy. He's that maverick player that all West Ham fans love. Di Canio and Paya, and he's so unpredictable. He's so frustrating because he hasn't scored yet. So who knows? Maybe Monday.
He knows where the back
another player who's not scored yet. I mean, Aubameyang hadn't scored for like 20 years before he played us, and had that inside 45 minutes. But
it's a good shout for me. What Jake says, Lingard, Benrahma, Bowen, and then Antonio just ahead. That'd be something for us to definitely contend with, I think. But like you say, he might go. I don't know. I've got a sneaky suspicion he might throw Benrahma in just because.
That's the thing. It's like the holiday video he did when he did Brentford. That basically ended his hopes of going to Leeds because they just remember the Leeds Twitter on that.
I think we were all sold on him, weren't we? But he's a great player and knows where the back of the net is. I know he hasn't scored for West Ham, but if you've seen his highlights reel at Brentford, man, he used to score.
Best player in the Championship for me when we went up. Certainly those 2 seasons under Bielsa, I thought he was probably the best player overall. Certainly going forward. So fair play to him. Fair play.
He's got work rate as well. Like that's the thing. When he come in, it wasn't just like throw him in. Moyes wasn't really sure on him, and then I can't remember. I think it was Palace away, and he's running off the ball and he's chasing. I'm like. Fair play, like his overall game, he just needs a goal. And he's got it in his locker. We know he's got it in his locker, but just that goal will set him off, I reckon.
Yeah. Fair enough, guys. Keep smashing that like button as well. We're on to just on the 220.
I can't believe we've got a comment here from Matt. Do you think 35 boxes already in?
I'll tell you what's going to happen, mate.
Do you know what? I have to do this every stream, Oscar. I have to do this every stream. I've been doing it
do that a lot, I think, next few weeks.
I've been doing it now for about let's say about 4 weeks, and every time I've said we could lose every game now between now and the end of the season, and we are not going down. Do not be worried about this, man. Like, honestly, do not be worried about it. Fulham probably could. I mean, Brighton have lost tonight as well, so they're in there. To Newcastle, so we don't need to worry. We're in 11th. We're chasing down West Ham. We're not catching, getting caught by Fulham. That's the way we're looking at it.
I can anticipate, though, next few games we've got in terms of next 3 before the international break, then April. It could be, we might have a bit of a tough time. I'm not going to hide away from that. It could well be a tough couple of games, but I think we've got that cushion, more than definitely got that cushion. We might drop down the table a bit, but I think we've got that cushion. Easily got that cushion. A lot of traffic as well. A lot of traffic. It's not like we're 16 from that many points clear. Everyone's got to go on the run to catch us. So I'm not worried about that at all, to be fair. We're not playing badly. If we were playing badly, in terms of, playing like we did against Brighton or, every single week, or like we did last time against West Ham, week in, week out, maybe I'd be a bit more concerned. But put it this way, Newcastle would absolutely love to be in our position.
Yeah.
And Brighton would love to be in our position. We've got to take it. We've got to definitely take that. But, obviously, lads, what we've done this season is, in terms of points tally and the way the whole season's gone in general, compared ourselves quite a lot to Sheffield United. But obviously, you guys have been in the Premier League a lot longer than what we have. Where would you say we rank in terms of newly promoted clubs, in terms of what you've seen over the years, in terms of, would you say we're up there in terms of the best, in terms of debut seasons back?
Ross, do you want to take this one, mate? Quite a big question, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's one of those things where it sounds condescending. I hate it, but it's like how refreshing. It happens quite a lot. Leeds have been refreshing this season, but they have been because they're having a go. Do you know what I mean? They play a different brand of football, very similar to when Wolves obviously came up. They had a brand of football which they played. I wouldn't talk about you. I mean, you piss on the pigs, to be honest, on Sheffield United. So I don't think. I mean, Sheffield United were workmanlike. I think you're a different gravy to that. But I mean, it's so congested in that middle bit of the Premier League table. A few wins in a row, you get obviously after you lose on Monday, of course. From then on, win every game if you want, fine, but just not Monday. we're only sixth now. Moyes out. No, so you could be easily in that. I mean, you'll be top 10, no problem. You could easily be top 10, no problem at all this season, and that's a great season. I wouldn't say. I mean, I think one of the most exciting teams to watch, because I think it's not just the players, but it's the mystique of Bielsa. And we've all seen the documentaries, and so it's all about it's who is this man sitting on the bucket? That's what we want to see, and unfortunately, no one can see it apart from me at the moment. To be fair, at the ground, but it's great fun. I mean, it's great that Leeds are back in the Premier League. I'm buzzing for you guys. I really am.
I think Wolves are the barometer, aren't they?
Yeah, the best, probably the best, aren't
they? They got Europe.
They had a mad super agent though to help them out with Moutinho and Neves.
They already had a squad in the Championship that was Premier League quality.
Yeah,
you couldn't say the same. I know it's easy now when we're in there and we're doing so well to say, "Oh no, they are Premier League quality," but they're not. It's all about Bielsa. There's a lot of players in there that, if he isn't here, they probably maybe not do so well. I've always said that. I always say it, but Wolves were already primed and ready. And then they got rid of the Championship fodder in that first season to Leeds, actually. But we've still got them now. We sold one of them. We've still got Costa on our bench. So, Wolves already were doing bits.
I think the comparison with Wolves and Leeds is an interesting one because Wolves are much more pragmatic. I know they had a squad when they come up, but they were very much. I think people go, that's how you need to be in the Premier League. Less goals, and they bring in Jimenez, and they sort of scrape 1-0s, and you're seeing with him out the side now they're struggling massively. Whereas I think Leeds are a bit more maverick, like unashamedly, like they'll concede loads of goals, they'll score loads of goals. That's just the philosophy. I think there's so few teams that can really afford to do that. To back that philosophy in a league like this and get to where you're at now, it's a massive accomplishment in itself.
Fair enough. I can only agree with that, definitely. But guys, let's push you for some predictions then, or how you see the game going in general. I mean, I'll go to you first, Corey. First of all, how do you see the game, the general pattern of the game? Do you see something similar to that Friday night in December?
I think it was the first time we played that 4-2-3-1, so I think we've improved. If we do play that, I think our pressing will be really good. I think we'll catch you out a couple of times in terms of putting you into forcing mistakes and put Melier under a little bit of pressure as well. I think we get the goal first, and I think you sort of grow into the game a little bit, but I can see West Ham coming on strong second half, so I'm going to go 3-1, lads, to West Ham. I'll really, really back us. But fingers crossed I'm not wrong.
I can assure you, if you score first, we won't grow into the game. It'll turn into where we're trying to cross the ball in and try and win headers off Craig Dawson and that lot. I mean, Craig Dawson will win about 20 headers in the box if you go one up. And that's a bit of a worry for me, if you do score first in this one. But Russ, how do you see it going, mate, in terms of general pattern of the game?
I think actually I'm trying to. How do I say it diplomatically? I think we're going to. No, I don't think Leeds are the team, but someone in the Premier League is due a dicking from us yet. But I don't think it's going to be Leeds. But somebody's due. You know what I mean? Because we are. There's one day everything's going to click.
Yeah,
and
it's so bang on.
And when it clicks, it's going to be an absolute rout. But I don't want it to be against Leeds. But I think we're going to win. I'm confident, very, very confident at the moment. It's a type of game traditionally we'd have probably lost. Old West Ham would have easily lost against Leeds at home, but I'm going for 2-0. I think 2-0. I reckon.
Okay. Wayman, what are you going with?
Just while I remember as well, sorry, this is a little bit off point. I just want to shout out Ben MG, a YouTuber. Just asked me to shout him out. Ben Morley, Leeds fan. Check him out, Ben MG. All right, and his son also does YouTube as well. So I just want to quickly do that, right? And big shout out Paul as well, who's watching from Thailand. He's from my hometown, so big shout out. Sorry about that. I'm going 2-1 Leeds United. I'm always going to back Leeds United. West Ham are a great side. The London thing always causes me pain. It's been far too long now, 2017, but that's got to come to an end. It's got to come. Vietnam, sorry, not Thailand. It's got to come to an end at some point, and why not Monday? I think Oscar, it's the first goal.
Yeah, all about first goal.
If West Ham get it, we might as well just say, right, let's wrap it up, because it could just go on one of them. A bit like Villa. I think we knew, didn't we? We knew against Villa, just wasn't going to be our night. And I think if West Ham, especially if they get one in the first 20 minutes, it's game over. But, let's see what we're about. I think Rodrigo comes straight back in and seeing him. I know it's only under 23s football, but that first goal he took really, really well. And I'm thinking, right, okay, he's had a layoff back in the side. We're missing that spark. Him and Rafinha, let's be honest, the telepathy they have, whenever he got that ball, Rodrigo was turn, bang, Rafinha's in. And if he's up against Creswell, like Corey said, he can be got at. And Rafinha, I mean, we relied on him too much against Villa. I didn't like to see it. A Bielsa side's it's more about the sum of its parts, not an individual. And I think against Villa, we ran out of ideas. And because we're missing that creative spark across the front line, it was just give it Rafinha, just give it Rafinha. And it wasn't his night. And I don't want us to turn into that side. No, I did not like it. So let's get Rodrigo back in there. Rafinha doing bits. Look, score first and we'll be all right. We can't afford to go down early like we did against Villa. And we need this London. It's bullshit, isn't it? How can it be anything really that a Leeds United player goes to London and not get a result? But it's mad. It's 2017, man. We're in 2021 and we've still not won in London. It's mad. But it's like, how can that be a thing? There's not a chance they're going on that coach going, oh, we've got to go to London again. Rafinha doesn't have a Scooby about this. That's the mad thing, but it's mad what kind of hoodoos happen in football. But hopefully we can get back to, because I think it's going to be tough. We've got Chelsea at home. If we lose against West Ham, lose against Chelsea, that's, 4 is it on the bounce then? And then Twitter and stuff will be a nightmare. I mean, I'll still be okay because it's our first season back, man. What more can you want? But Twitter will be an absolute meltdown. And then we'll probably lose to Fulham and then it will go into meltdown. Trust me.
The first thing that'll be said is, how on earth are we going to stay up if we can't beat Fulham? That'll be the first thing that gets said, the panic in that lot.
They'll be Bielsa out, so I'm telling you.
No.
We need to win. And to be fair to us, we haven't gone on like a losing streak yet. We've 1 or 2, then we win. 1 or 2, then we win. We need to win. Hopefully we can get it on Monday against a very, very strong. I was really impressed with them against City. Yeah. Really impressed. I said to Corey on Twitter, like, he's gave him a good run, man. You know, and I think was your goal the first time Stones and Diaz had conceded for like loads of games.
But also we this season we haven't lost 2 games in a row all season. Yeah. So every game we've lost, obviously next game's a draw or a win. So yeah, when we lose, that's the different. That's what I mean. It's like that's a difference. West Ham. If we used to be, we'd lose 3 or 4 on the spin, because our heads are down. They're rallying. It's going to be a cracking game. Whatever. It's going to be a great game for the neutrals, as we all say. But yeah, no, it's no. I am really looking forward to it Monday. Really look forward to it.
I agree. I'm looking forward to seeing it in the fact that Rodrigo's back, and I think when we had Rodrigo in the team, I think we saw against Newcastle in terms of. And teams that kind of sat it a little bit deeper when we got on the ball and that lot and tried to hit us on the counter. We found it a lot easier when we had Rodrigo and Rafinha in the same team. So I think that'll be interesting to see from that point of view. But West Ham, for me, in terms of defensively, when they've got to sit in and absorb a bit of pressure, I genuinely don't think there's a better team in the league this season at doing that.
They're perfect. They're the almost perfect foil for Bielsa.
Yeah, exactly. Just
like a real meeting of 2 different styles.
Sit there. We'll just sit there.
You'll probably have less than 30% of the ball.
Oh, yeah. Every game.
You'll have less than 30% of the ball. And that's not a problem, though, for you. You're so comfortable about it. It's not a case of you're like a West Brom or Newcastle in terms of lumping it forward to nothing and hoping for the best. There's genuinely a real good plan in place. So it's going to be interesting from that point of view. I just think, but if you score first, though, it'll be for the neutral. I think it'll turn into like this is a bit. It'll be like the Villa game, the Brighton game. It'll be the exact same kind of game. It'll probably go up and turn into a 1-0 West Ham, maybe 2-0. But I think we will score first. I think the big thing for us is we very rarely put on 2 poor attacking displays consecutively. We were poor going forward against Villa. We very rarely put in 2 poor ones. Normally we go back into the next game and we're there all guns blazing. I think that'll be the same on Saturday. tough on Monday. Sorry, it'll be tough to say if that's going to be enough to win us the game. But I do have that feeling we might start really well. To be fair, I think there's big pitch as well might work in our favour. But I'm going to go 1-1. I think I'd take a draw. To be honest, I think I'd be pretty happy with a draw. One more point towards our survival total, Joe.
Don't want to get catched by Fulham, do you?
Fulham are catching us.
I was going to say that the trick for Play West Ham is go and watch how Fulham played against us at London Stadium.
Oh my
Literally,
God,
they came out of the blocks and just went bang, bang, bang onto us. And
was that when Lookman took that penalty?
Yeah, did
absolutely
the but we shouldn't have come out of that game with a win at all. But they did exactly because we thought, oh, here we go. Cricket score today, not an England cricket score, but an India cricket score. But literally, they came out and went bang from the first whistle. Press, high press, really, 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 and we couldn't do it. We couldn't cope with it. And it took half time changing stuff. But that's how you do it. I mean, I'm not giving away any trade secrets. Watch the Fulham game itself.
But Ross, they've done it twice, haven't they, against us? They gave us a good game on both occasions because they just packed the midfield, and you're just like, how can we get the ball off them? And then that's the way. But I think actually having a bigger pitch might suit us against you because the way you try and be expansive, if we keep solid, keep a low block in there and transition, then we'll have space, and I think we'll do better this time. But enough from me. I've said my bit. So.
Well, I guess, guys, just going on to Russ's channel in a second. I think are we going live, Russ? Or
no? I might do it tomorrow because I can feel my wife's eyes like burning into the back of my head.
Make sure you keep a lookout anyway for my Hammers 11 because we will be doing a Leeds and West Ham one, which I'm looking forward to. To be fair, there's a couple of quality names that are going to be in there anyway. But guys, anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. Just under 250 of you, if you can smash that like, that'd be absolutely superb. Corey, I think we will.
Yeah.
But just remind us where we can find you, mate.
Yeah, West Ham my YouTube channel, and then the Twitter handle there as well. Can't quite get it right. There is.
I'm always doing that.
Every time, man. Should have got used to it by now, but never can do it.
But of course we will be on. I'm assuming you'll be having us on the channel at some point, or have I been a bit over assumptuous there?
Oh, you can come on, mate, if you want. I thought you'd be. I thought you'd be ram-packed with all your content.
We came on after that Friday game where we'd be absolutely shocking, and we came on for you. So if you're having us on, then make sure you watch out for us on that channel anyway. After the
West Ham way.
The West Ham way. But yeah, of course, we'll be appearing on Russ's channel at some point in the next week or so as well. On my
it's going to be out on Monday. So whatever happens, it'll be out on Monday before the game.
Guys.
Before the game, So and me and Oscar are going to be chatting about. It's probably just basically doing a fucking repeat of what we talk about now. That matter, and then talking about creating a team of players who have played for both West Ham and Leeds. So not just I'm going to put Declan Rice in. They have to play for Leeds and West Ham. So get ready for some great names.
Lots of great names. To be fair, I've had to squeeze a few in.
Let's be honest. Yeah.
There's some people I was looking at thinking, it's not a chance they're going in my team. That kind of
thing. Well, bit of a spoiler. Hayden Fox straight in. So
no, he's not getting anywhere near the team. He was part of the defence that got us relegated to League One. No chance he's going in. Hayden Fox. Oh no. I still get post-traumatic stress disorder from watching him defend at Luton away, and we lost 5-1 at Luton, one of the low points, and Dennis Wise took charge a week later. But that was the darker times being a Leeds fan, as you say. Why did you have to mention Hayden Fox? I
just like doing it. I like Hayden Fox. But
there's going to be players I mentioned, to be fair, that you won't be too keen on either, which is fair enough. But I guess we'll leave it there anyway, guys. Have a great weekend, great rest of the weekend. Big match preview is out tomorrow night. We'll be going live. Is it we're saying 8 o'clock, Wayman?
Yeah, I don't know yet. I'll get back to you.
I think we'll probably be after the Manchester derby. When City smash them across the Pennines, head over to us, and we will be going live at some point on Sunday night. Of course, all your pre-match content will be out before Monday. And then about 7 o'clock-ish, we'll be doing the live lineups on Monday, into the old watch-along, and post-match as well. And yeah, I guess we'll leave it there, guys. We'll play the jingle. Have a great rest of the weekend. Smash the like and subscribe, and we'll see you later, guys. Big thanks to Corey and Russ and Mr. Wayman. See you later, guys.
See you later, everyone.